I get why weightlifting coaches are mad, because he's basically saying that they're not doing what they should be doing, and no coach wants to be told by another coach like, you ain't about shit. So
yeah, I mean, but you gotta be open-minded and just like let people do their thing. Nobody has.
Hold on, let's read. I want to read what he.
Like, who wrote what?
So John Coffey wrote a response. So Louis Simmons, I believe, wrote a book or an ebook about weightlifting training.
It's a strength manual.
It's a strength manual. Yeah, I have not read it. I know some people had read it, but let's see. Response to Louis Simmons' BS. Reading Louis Simmons' postings on the internet and reading through his book, it seems like his basic point is that U.S. Olympic lifters spend too much time and energy perfecting their technique with not enough time and energy put into strength building. I agree that weightlifters should not be doing low bar back squatting with the back angle tilted forward and all that kind of stuff, but there are a lot of things at Louis' gym that I think a lot of weightlifters probably could use. And
here's why not? You saying all weightlifters or some weightlifters? Because I think it's just kind of a generalization.
I think people who are starting weightlifting, a lot of times they come straight from CrossFit and they don't have any strength background. They don't have any like real stability or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it, but you jump right into it. You're doing snatch, clean and jerk, high bar squat. When people like James Tatum, who used to be like, or Travis who are both powerlifters first, they developed really good like hamstrings and stuff like that through powerlifting. I think that's probably one of the good takeaways from Louis is all the hamstring work. I mean, that's a knee stabilizer, so this is a puller. So I think you can take something away for like, hey, you should spend the bulk of your time doing accessory work and training the technique, and then building up from there. But people jump right off balls deep into a weightlifting program. They're doing snatch, clean, jerk, squat every day.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, like John Coffey would be correct for like kind of, you said, like high level.
Yeah.
I don't think elite level weightlifters need to be doing low bar back squatting.
They've already developed.
Yeah. But I mean, for a new lifter, and I wouldn't even say for a new lifter to do low bar back squatting, but some of the accessory work that Louis has in his gym, like some of that hamstring developer,
belt march, glutes.
Yeah, like some of those exercises that he uses in his training like programs.
Yeah.
I think that would be useful for new lifters to make sure that they're balanced somewhat and have just raw strength development of like especially the back end, because with weightlifting you can even John Coffey says like it is a quad dominant sport. Like you do need to have very strong quads, but you can't neglect the back end of the legs, because that's where a lot of your pull comes from, which is why you do things like RDLs and good mornings and things like that. But I mean, even if you did put in some low bar back squatting to develop the hamstrings, especially if they're underdeveloped, I think that would not be a wasted effort, especially for a very new lifter.
Yeah.
I think one girl who lifts at a very high level, like Mary Peck, she squats low bar. I don't necessarily know why she squats low bar. I never asked her why, but she does squat low bar.
Doesn't Camille squat low bar?
Yeah. I think a lot of CrossFitters tend to squat kind of a low bar, like hybrid. They don't squat completely like Olympic style upright, but I mean, in CrossFit, there's so much pulling involved. You have to have there's so much low back and pulling involved. Like you have to have strong.
I think there's no barrier. There's no prerequisite for like getting into weightlifting, and that's where we see, like I said, people just jumping in, and then they have all these holes in their game, like way down the road, like 2 years after they start weightlifting, and they have to basically go back.
I would also have to argue that Travis Mash incorporates a lot of what he learned from Louis in his own programs, and Travis's lifters are among the strongest lifters in the country.
Yeah.
So I would probably say that mixing some stuff in there from powerlifting is not a bad idea. Like I think a lot of weightlifting coaches in the States, they're very, very set in their ways, and that's fine. That's the way they coach, and that's the way they train their athletes. And that works for them. But you never know what can work better unless you try it. And I think Travis has incorporated a lot of stuff that he has learned from Louis, and it shows. I mean, Travis right now probably has like the best weightlifting team in America right now, and his lifters are amongst the strongest, like pound for pound, amongst the strongest lifters. And
anytime you do something outside of the research, though, anytime you do something different, like the haters are gonna come out, for sure.
Yeah, and we talked about that with Travis on one of those shows about how he incorporates a lot of that powerlifting style training in his weightlifting. So I think all this beef is just I see where the weightlifting coaches are coming from. You got like Louis Simmons, who is a powerlifter, and yes, a lot of his lifters are equipped. Maybe yes, I don't know, they're on drugs and whatever, but in the end, Louis is just trying to get people as strong as possible, and in weightlifting, you got to be fucking strong. Like, you cannot be weak and be a good weightlifter. So you should just try to get as strong as you possibly can, any way that you fucking can. And I think that's more what this should be about, rather than just arguing about, which it's silly.
Yeah. So on that note, like, Louis' book seems to talk a little bit of shit about what's wrong with weightlifters,
right.
And maybe he should have said, "Here's what can help."
Yeah, I think
beginning weightlifters instead of saying what's wrong with them.
I think Louis comes at it from a critical state, like from a criticizing part, and he's never really produced anybody, and that's where the weightlifting coaches come in. Like, well, you've never produced anybody that has gone to a high level in weightlifting. Right. How can you sit there and criticize us when we have sent people to international competitions and they've won medals and things like that? Like, you've never produced anybody. So I think Louis should probably be a little bit more like, okay, well, I just want to help make your lifters stronger than they probably could be, and here's how I would say that they could probably do it. And if you want to try it. But maybe to be polarizing is the way to go, and forget people to listen to you.
Would you mediate between the two? Would you bring John Coffey and Louis together?
I don't know, man. They're both old dudes.
I feel like they get in an old man fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a slow old man fight.
I think it's too.
And Louis would.
It's
my money's on Louis.
It's like old racist. It's like old racist people. You're not gonna change their mind. You're not gonna change their mind about all this whatever stuff. So I think you just have to start with the new younger coaches.
Spoken like a true millennial.
Who are open-minded to like new things.
What's happening? Yeah.
New things like black people.
Black people are weightlifting now. We made it.
Yeah. It's like trying to. So I think with the younger and new coming up coaches who are more open-minded about this type of stuff, I think it will make a shift. And I really have to say again, like, go back to Travis, like, he's by producing the amount of athletes that he has, and they're so strong, you see it. And I think a lot of people are starting to see that, oh, okay, we need to add more of this type of training, like we need to add more accessory and powerlifting work into weightlifting training.
Yeah, I think the bulk of most people's training should be technique work and accessory work, and do the full lifts a few times a week, maybe, but a couple times a week. But we gotta stop the talk about drugs. Like, you gotta fucking stop that, because it's like an easy cheap shot. It's like, oh, well, your guys are on drugs.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay.
I mean, it is the.
That's the truth of it, though.
It is the 400-pound girl in the room.
The same standard.
Yeah, but I mean, on the flip side, like, weightlifters do that about the rest of the world too. Like, oh, they're on drugs, instead of just playing the cards that you're dealt.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the next controversial weightlifting coach, and I'm going to have that dead bug only program.
In defense of the low bar back squat too, for using it with a variety of weightlifters, it's just another tool, obviously, that can be maximally loaded. So if you're looking for maximal strength too, it's safer. It's not going to beat you up as much, and you can just do more weight on it.
Yeah.
So that is probably why you see a lot of some lifters doing it, because sometimes the volume of high bar, like me for example, destroys my knees, and I would probably benefit from more low bar, just for getting a little bit stronger.
For building muscle and gaining overall strength, like the low bar squat.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like what's West Side, right? It's variation. It's a lot of it is very similar to CrossFit.
Sure, there's a lot of variation.
So if doing the same thing over and over again tends to plateau, and you need variation to break those plateaus, then implementing things like low bar would probably help, especially of a developing lifter if they're hitting strength plateaus. Like I think doing a lot of different variations on strength is a good thing for developing lifters. Like I mean, for me, like when I started doing stuff with chains and pausing and different accessory movements, like bodybuilding type movements, I broke through plateaus and got fucking crazy strong. That's when I was doing Travis's stuff.
Yeah.
It was a lot of variation on strength exercises. So I don't think that's. It's just you got the old school weightlifting coaches that have been around the game. This is how they brought their lifters up. This is how they know. This is what they know, and that's fine. But I think both sides just need to be maybe a little bit open-minded and
Why can't we be friends?
let's just fucking lift heavy weights and get our people as strong as possible and not argue with each other and just share ideas instead of and come to a
We're
happy
the
medium.
United States, damn it.
United.
The United States.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of our coaches just fight with each other.
They do.
Like they just, I think even Chad Wesley Smith wrote that article about USA weightlifting about how coaches in America, they just fight with each other instead of working
There's
with
like
each
no
other.
cohesive.
Yeah, instead of working each other to like, let's produce the fucking best lifters we can send to the fucking Olympics so we can try to win medals.
Everybody wants their method to be the
Yeah.
best so they can say it. This doesn't help when you're closed off.
Dead bug method
Just dead. But
2.0.
Alright, we gotta get back to this. We got this tangent.
Yep. What you working on, Alex?
Editing and proofreading these strength.
How strong are you, bro?
Strength test results, feedback.
What are you working on?
I'm answering emails. But the people have spoken.
The people's elbow.
I'm dropping the
The
people.
people's emails.
The people's email.
What are you working on, bro?
I'm answering emails too.
Dang.
Are you gonna do that Tony Hannah one?
Uh-oh.
The one that just came in.
Coming your way.
Not really.
Oh, you can't see that.